So again, we have a couple of things when it comes to risk management and fraud prevention, in terms of protecting your wealth, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit about all of it. One of the things that falls under wealth protection is also insurance. I'm not an insurance specialist, so I'm not going to get into insurance at all. But again, understanding how that protects your wealth is definitely a key part of risk management. Let's jump into fraud prevention here, and I want to be aware of the time as well. I know we have a Q&A to do as well, so I will go through this briefly. But one of the big things that you always want to do is check your receipts, bills, and statements for discrepancies. This is something that actually my mom always says, and she taught me to do this when I was pretty much a kid, and it holds true for everything that I tell my clients today, is always be checking, because there are discrepancies that may come up, and over your life, those numbers, those small discrepancies can actually add up to a lot. And in some cases, again, I used to work in retail banking, you would see even large discrepancies that go unnoticed if they go unchecked. So make sure you're always checking those things. Again, you may be getting fraudulently charged as well on something like a credit card. So checking that is very important. Keeping track of spending. So you can do this in any number of ways, whether you're comfortable holding on to physical receipts, whether you're using, a mobile app or a desktop app, or, Excel, Microsoft Excel, or just manually recording everything on a budget sheet. But always keeping track is definitely a key part of protecting your wealth. When it comes to credit reports, like I said, different countries have different systems, but order a credit report if your country has a credit file system at least twice a year, and you want to look for open credit reports. So any credit that you have access to, inquiries, which means anytime an institution or anybody has checked your credit, collections. You wouldn't believe the amount of times that situations where somebody is registered with a telecom company or for their phone, for their mobile phone, and what happens is they switch providers to another telecom company, and they owe something like $3 to their old telecom company, and that amount actually gets put into a collection and sold to a collections agency because it's listed as something that you owe. And people don't realize this, and then eventually they start getting notices, and again, that will have a negative impact on your credit file. So making sure to check for any collections on your file. And the last thing is check for identity theft, because identity theft is a huge problem. And if you're noticing, again, inquiries or open credit files on your report that don't belong to you, then you may be a victim of identity theft. It happens a lot more than people realize. So I would definitely say check your credit history quarterly and order a credit report at least twice a year to ensure that you're protecting yourself in that way. The last thing I want to talk about is phone and digital scams. There are tons of these scams that are going on right now, and some of you may have experienced it. Some of you may have even been a victim of a scam like this. And so I want to go through some best practices to avoid, these phone and digital scams from, taking over your finances. So there are a bunch that come via email, WhatsApp, social media, via phone, telling you a few different things. So via phone, they might tell you that you need to deposit a certain amount of money immediately because you owe, your government some money. They may tell you that you owe the bank some money or something like that. So make sure you mail the money right away. In some cases, they may even call you for help and say, I'm an individual who my son or daughter has been hospitalized, and my bank has locked my funds because I tried withdrawing a lot at once, so they locked my funds. Can you send me some money just so that I can pay for the hospital bill, and then I'll send it to you back once my bank unlocks the funds, once they release them. And a lot of people fall for this. So you really want to be aware that these are all scams, right? And you don't want to entertain any of these. The best thing to do if you hear something like this is, first of all, double check, if it's someone that's close to you. Sometimes people's emails get hacked and things like that. Double check with friends by calling your friends, not by responding to emails that you got or responding to message, by calling your friends and double checking if they are in situations where they need that help. And the second thing is, if you don't know the person, don't engage in phone conversations with anybody. Don't engage in phone conversations, even if you think it's your bank calling you, or even if you think it's your government calling you. do not engage, hang up the phone and call them back from a number that is on their website. So there will never be a situation where, someone will call you and demand that you do something right away, and it will be legitimate. You'll always be able to hang up the phone, call back, and verify, whether it is a scam or not. I heard of a scam recently that was a taxi scam, and this is going on around the world. I'm sure some of you may have heard about this, where people are actually saying, people are approaching people in public spaces and saying, I'm trying to take a taxi, but the driver won't take cash because of COVID. And so the driver won't accept cash and they need a card. Do you mind if, you just use your card and I'll give you the cash? What they do, the taxi driver is actually in on the scam with the person asking you. And what they do is they take your card, and when they're trying to apply the payment, they actually end up transacting on your card. You might have 10, 15, 20 transactions on your card for various amounts before they give the card back to you. And that happens all in a span of 2 minutes. So you really want to make sure, again, you're not giving your card out for things like that. It is better. I know everybody wants to be helpful and everybody wants to be nice, but it is better to protect yourself first when it comes to something like this than run the risk of falling prey to the scams that exist. So just to wrap up, in times of crisis, you want to reassess your financial attitudes and approaches, make a conscious effort to assess your financial attitudes, approaches, and be in control of your finances. You want to update your knowledge, ensure to stay up to date on all of the financial concepts that apply to you in your life. You want to be aware of your own financial situation. So all of the money coming in and going out, and knowing all of the rates, fees, and terms of any financial services that you have available to you, and practice good risk management and fraud prevention habits. Don't fall prey to the scams that are out there. Always double check, triple check, and really protect yourself from some of the evils that exist out there.